So today is the first session for the newspaper analysis. So we will be taking up all the important articles that are relevant for that day. And also if there are any articles that are connected to this news from the previous days, we will be taking them also. So these classes are going to be comprehensive. I'm considering you guys as a beginner. I will be building this newspaper content for you from the scratch onwards. So you can peacefully, absolutely rely on these classes. Do not spend or waste time for current affairs on multiple things. Sit here, ask me your doubts after the class, watch these classes carefully, and I'm sure you will learn a very good content. Okay, this is the thing I'm doing for the past 1 decade. So I'll assure you, you will get very good content. Only thing is, you have to listen to the class with a sincere patience and everything. Okay, so come to the class on time and watch these lectures and read the content. You don't have to do the same content from the multiple sources. Our strategy should be doing one thing in a multiple revisions. What happens is, basically, there would be multiple things are happening in the news. As we go on, we will be building things and we will be analyzing and understanding various things. All the learning cannot happen in single class. So we will go step by step. Maybe in a class, only 1 or 2 topics we will go in very detail. For the other topics, I will be giving you the base. As we proceed, you will be understanding all the current affairs. So wait for a few days, wait for a couple of weeks. As we proceed, you will be having confidence on the current affairs. You will feel definitely a very good confidence. Okay. So for the time being, have some patience, watch the lectures carefully. Okay. So we'll start. Whenever there is monsoon season or whenever there are rainfalls, always urban cities are always in the news, especially Bangalore. In few days you will see Hyderabad also, Chennai. These things keep coming. Issues are always the same. Even the time period when I was studying for this topic of urban floods, the topics were same, the issues were same. Okay, so even the same things are happening. So when we look at these kind of current affairs, we need to understand what is its relevance for the exam. You have GS1 and GS3. In the GS1, there is a urban geography. There they can ask you regarding the urban floods or urban problems. In the GS3, you have the disaster management. So they can simply ask you what are the issues associated with this urban management that are leading to the floods. Why do we see so much of flooding every time, every year? So what steps we can do? In the same way, recently you might have seen fire accident that has happened in the Hyderabad, Charminar area. Okay, so they can ask you, even in the case studies, GS4, they can ask you if you are the local authority, maybe any kind of officer, any kind of designation they will give you. So what kind of steps you will take to prevent such kind of fire accidents in the future? Or how do you handle such incidents? For this to answer, you cannot just mug up some material of case studies and you cannot just vomit out there. You need a kind of broader understanding. You need to have big picture. Only then you will be confident. Now, once we do these topics, same articles will keep repeating. You don't have to run behind each and every article. Only when there is something very important case study, very important relevant matter comes, that you have to add in your content. That I will be doing. So if anything most important that has to be done, okay, that I will be taking care. So we will be starting things. Now, why are we facing these floods? Rainfalls are natural things. But these scenarios of urban floods, probably we are facing the severe issues, probably since maybe a kind of maybe from 1 decade or at the max 1.5 decade. These are the most recent issues where these things are happening. See, whenever a kind of rainfall happens, what happens? Okay, let's say this is the kind of territory you have, territory or topography or land. Okay, so rainfall happens. So what happens? Water starts flowing as per the slope. So this is the direction of the slope. Water will move here. Now assume that there is no man-made intervention, natural conditions. What will be there? Okay, so there will be trees. There has to be some kind of soil. Okay, there will be good amount of trees. So now what happens? These trees will slow down the speed of the running waters. So during this time period, the speed of the water flow will be reduced. At the same time, the infiltration of the water happens like this. Now whatever the groundwater levels are there, they will be getting recharged. Natural scenario I am saying. In general condition, this is what should happen. And eventually, where does this water reaches? They may reach into the lakes, or maybe they can merge into the rivers. What will happen to the rivers? Ultimately, they will join the sea. This should be the general scenario. But we have disrupted this thing. We have changed this phenomena. Urban structures have been introduced. Now, what have we done? So, for the purpose of urban infrastructure, we have gone for the deforestation, felling up of the trees. So, we have cleared these trees. So, these trees have been cleared. Now, the speed with which water flowing is increased. If the speed is increased, can they percolate into the ground? It will be reduced. This is the first thing we have done. What have we done? So first thing we have done is a deforestation. Then second thing, I have told you these are the basic natural paths. If you go out of the institution, you will see cement structures, cement roads. Now, can the water percolate in those cement structures? No, right? You have hard structures. So, water cannot infiltrate underground. So, you have changed the structure. Now, here you have the cement roads. Now, I have told you another thing. This water finally joins into the lakes. But we have huge population. You cannot go for the urbanization if you give space for these kind of lakes. In order to accommodate development, in order to accommodate population, what we have done? We have infilled these lakes. That means infilling of the lakes, we have closed these lakes, and construction has happened over these lakes on the wetlands. So basically you might have seen in the news, wetland destruction. This is what is happening everywhere. Now where would the water go? You have destroyed this thing. At the same time, not only this, industries established. These industries will dump all the waste material in these lakes. Few of them you have destroyed directly. Few of them are getting destroyed indirectly because of the pollution. Now, assume that there is a lake. Okay, assume that there is a lake whose capacity is, okay, assume that some 1000 liters or something. Okay, now because of all the waste material you have dumped there, so now this capacity has been reduced to 500 liters. Right? So now where that water will go? So it is overflowing in the cities. So basically, whatever the urban floods that are happening, these are the man-made phenomena. Now we are not planning the urbanization properly. We should have the proper plan. See, now for suppose plan means, now when I say, when I am designing the city, okay, generally based on the sloping structure, water will flow like this, right? So wherever the slope is there, water will flow. So now I have to make a way. If the sloping structure is this way, so I should make a way so that the water should flow into the lakes, and then from these lakes, if these lakes get infilled, so there should be proper connectivity between the lakes and then towards any major river. This is what I have to do during the urban planning. But no such things happen. On theory, everything happens well. But in reality, on ground, no such thing happens. So now you can imagine a scenario where because of the global warming and climate change, whatever the rainfall that is coming, it is also becoming erratic because of the natural reasons. You have seen, okay, so, like say now even the IMD has said that monsoons usually come to India or onset happens in the Kerala first time, especially on the June 1st or 3rd. But recently you might have seen the news, they may arrive 1 week early. So there is some kind of erratic nature of the monsoon going on because of the global warming and the climate changes. So later on you will study this thing as a complete topic under the Indian monsoons. Now you understand, because of the natural reason, there are disruptions are happening in the rainfall patterns. In the small short span of the time, huge rainfalls are happening and you have changed the structures. So that is going to cause so many floods, urban floods. Understood the basic concept? Now see the newspaper. Okay, so I have taken the case study of the Bangalore city. In the last time, in the UPSC mains question, they have asked about the urban floods. They have asked 2 case studies. Okay, so at that time only Delhi floods disaster has happened. Okay, some of our friends, okay, have lost life. Okay, so we need to have this case study. They may ask directly the case study. Even if they don't ask, you can use this case study in the mains. So understand this thing. So this is how the map of the Bangalore city is. There is a central highland and here you see the valleys. Okay, whatever the valleys, it is surrounded by the highland. So whenever the water, okay, from here land towards this sea, okay, valley, okay, valley and valley. So whoever are staying here, away from the central highland, they are facing the floods. Simply because of the topographical factors. Topography means geographical landscape at the smaller level. Simply because of the natural reasons. See here. Okay. So this is what the major thing. Now, when I try to talk about the causes of the flooding in the Bengaluru or be it in any city, so I am getting a framework here. First thing is the geographical factors. In the geographical factors, first thing I will talk about the rainfall patterns. Changing rainfall patterns, that can be the one cause. You will be able to write more and more points as and when your other subjects are also finished. GS1, GS2, GS3 are finished. Then you will be able to link and add more points. For now, you understand only to the extent which I am trying to convey it. As things proceed, as the time when your static part is also covered, you will feel more comfortable. You will clearly understand what are these monsoons and you will be easily able to relate to these things. For now, you understand monsoons happen. Okay, these are the rainfall system of India. And then because of those changes, one thing, erratic rainfall is happening. And then because of the topography, this is the major one of the geographical factor. Now, the second factor I have said is the urbanization and encroachment. What is happening with this urbanization and encroachment? Construction of the cement roads, destruction of the forest, or construction of this new urban pavements. All these things, you are changing the natural landscape. And then inadequate infrastructure. Now see, okay, so like I have said, the water, when the water flows, they will get into some kind of drainage. Okay, now what if there is no proper solid waste management? Whatever the waste people are growing, okay, they are throwing or dumping it anywhere. Now they will go and settle in some kind of drains, right? Then the capacity of this drainage system will be reduced. So that is also very important thing. We should have the proper solid waste management. That's why we should segregate the solid waste and then we have to properly treat and dump this waste material, or else they will finally land up in this kind of drainage system and cause the floods. So that is also poor infrastructure. There is no proper solid waste management. That's why we have gone through various solid waste management rules. 2016 rules, 2024 rules have been announced. Okay, as we go on, we will see those things also. So lack of proper solid waste management. And then, like I have said, the capacity of these lakes will be reduced over a period of time. So local governments, they should, before the monsoon time period, they should go for the desiltation. Okay, even if you have like say tanks in your rural areas and all, like you might be doing this thing every time, cleaning of the tanks. Okay, if you can connect in your rural areas. Okay, generally we have to manage our own tanks that are available for the water capacity to be clean as well as better. Okay, so same way these lakes has to be properly, desiltation has to be done. If not, the capacity will be reduced. But this thing is not happening, especially in the Bangalore city. CAG, okay, controller, okay, you know, okay, auditing whoever has an okay constitutional body. Okay, it has found out that whatever this drainage network is there, okay, like I have mentioned. So whenever water is flowing, there should be a kind of interconnection that has to happen, like I have shown here. Okay, from here the water is flowing from here, here, but this interconnection has been broken down. This is not there, and roads are also constructed in such a manner that this is stopping or obstructing the water flow. The CAG report has found out. It is not just scenario of the private bodies, even government, local authorities themselves have developed or constructed buildings violating these kind of rules. So poor infrastructure is another problem. So these are the major factors which is a kind of cause of concern. So what we have to do, okay, so we have to address these solutions for the long term problem. So generally piecemeal approaches don't work. Okay, when the floods happen, okay, resettlement, rehabilitation, those things is not going to work. So for the Bengaluru, they are coming with a new master plan. Master plan means for the city, they will come up with what kind of infrastructure has to be there, what kind of infrastructure has to be rebuilt, how much population can be allowed in the city, okay, how much expansion of city can be allowed. Everything will be planned. Okay, it's cities generally do not grow on its own. If I go and construct some kind of maybe a kind of mall or any kind of industry at some place, because of that industry, employment generation happens. In order to support the people who are working there, some other shops will come in a nearby. Okay, maybe some malls might come up. So how the cyber city has been developed. Okay, so initially if you IT companies have come up, now if you can see how completely everything has been changed. Okay, so that's how the local authorities, they will plan. This is how I will plan my cities, and in that plan they must incorporate how the flood management has to happen. And this is also as per the Amrut scheme. Okay, you might be knowing that Amrut scheme. It is a scheme where they are talking about developing the basic infrastructure in the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities. Okay, basic infrastructure to provide the basic amenities. So as per the Amrut scheme also, it is a responsibility of the local government to develop this kind of infrastructure, which is currently not happening properly. That is causing the problem. So if the question comes, discuss about the urban flooding. Okay, you can mention what are the causes of the urban flooding, and there you can mention one of the case study in the Bangalore, where Bangalore is basically considered as a city of lakes, but all those majority of the lakes are getting destroyed. I have given the example also here. Okay, Bellandur Lake facing threats from the urbanization. So you see, I will again discuss maybe after some period of time during this monsoon time period only. You will see the same scenario happening with the Chennai. Now you can imagine a scenario if there are good number of rivers in and around. Now all the water will flow into this from these lakes to these rivers, and then overflowing of the rivers will happen. Then this is going to cause huge amount of the flooding in and around those rivers. Very simple thing. You are not properly managing the outflow of the water. Okay, so before the monsoon itself, I should be very clear what is the capacity of this lake. Okay, I should be making some kind of arrangement of gates. Okay, so if the lake, okay, I can close the gates, I can open the gates, even for the lakes, not for the just for the dams. All this planning has to be done. Okay, or else this lack of that thing can lead to the flash floods. Desiltation means, that's what I said. Okay, silt means all that waste and material that is getting filled up in the lakes. Desiltation means you are cleaning those lakes. Okay, so we will do this thing for even for the dams, even for the rivers, to so that once you remove that mud flow and all, dust and all, so the flow of the water will be maintained. This is very important. All this capacity of the water will be reduced. Lake will be reduced. So am I clear with this? Why the floods are happening? Okay. So we need not just only immediate, we also need a kind of long-term solutions where we need a kind of master plan and also invest in this climate resilient technologies. Okay. So are we clear? about the topic of urban floods. So as we proceed, more articles will come up and we will see what are the additional things that has to be added up. So the CAG report, whatever it is, a case study is there of the Bengaluru city, we can use that thing. Now, see, India and Pakistan, various issues are happening. So as you proceed, various things keep on coming. You don't have to follow each and every article. Various things, political things are happening. Okay, so they will be saying this thing, Pakistan, India will be responding in another manner. So we need to understand things in a holistic manner. What has happened? So terrorist attack has happened. So when this terrorist attack happened, so this is considered to be a non-state terrorist activity. Okay, sorry, non-state actors attack. What does I mean by non-state of a state attack? So state attack means a kind of directly Pakistan attacking India. Pakistan won't dare to do that. Okay, so Pakistan, what it does is, so it will give funding to the terrorist organizations. They will say, attack India. So then these terrorist organizations will say, from where do we get the money? Where do we get the arms? So Pakistan will be getting money from everywhere, like IMF also recently, they have allotted money. Okay, for them they will say, okay, we'll do development. For them they will say, chalo, go and poke India. Okay, this is the what scenario happening. Now, when this kind of attacks happen, be it a Mumbai attack or all the previous attacks, so when the India says, so these are the terrorist groupings that are attacking India. So then Pakistan, like you might have seen, Pakistan will say, we did not do anything. These are the people, these are the terrorists. Someone has attacked. How can you blame us? Okay, so this is a kind of proxy war, indirect war. So that, okay, it is very difficult for India. If it is directly Pakistan doing something, India can take a very strong action. Now it is saying we have not done anything. So it's a kind of, okay, indirect attack, indirect wars. So now what India has done? India has also changed strategy. Okay, support us. If you don't support us in arresting or catching these terrorists, then we will take our steps. As per the international global principles, if there is a threat to our own sovereignty, you can go and attack them. But there has to be substantial evidence. If the opposing nation is not providing you support and this is going to cause harm to your sovereignty, threat to your nation, then you can do that. Using that thing, India has launched attack on the terrorist pads in the POK as well as in the deeper areas of the Pakistan. This is the first thing. Then before doing this thing, we have also suspended the Indus Water Treaty. As we proceed, we will see the provisions of the Indus Water Treaty also. Now these are the few major things we have done. After that, ceasefire has happened. Then Pakistan, through using that social media and all, they are promoting some kind of fake news and all. We have won the war, or India did not defeat us, or we were the one who won this war and all, doing all kind of fake propaganda. Now India has also launched diplomatic missions. So more than 50 members, not only from the Indian government, but also from the other parties. Okay, so all of them are participating and they are going through different countries. They are visiting different countries and they are explaining what is this Operation Sindoor is. And using whatever the information and intelligence we have gathered, using our intelligence, we are trying to share this information with those countries. See how this country is promoting terrorism. So we are also highlighting why Pakistan should not be provided funds under the IMF. You might have seen in the news FATF organization. Okay, basically this is the organization which checks funding for the money laundering and terrorist related activities. So whatever the country has these finances, now currently I have told you the IMF is giving funds to the Pakistan. Now Pakistan should use those finances only for the developmental purposes. You cannot use the funds for the purposes which is not you are supposed to do. There should be proper kind of tracking mechanism, transparency in the way funds are being used. So this is what the FATF as an organization will do. It will track, okay, it will see, is this fine or not? So accordingly, Pakistan has to share the information. If it is not doing so, that particular country will be kept under different lists, like grey list or black list. So if that happens, if a country is kept in a grey list or black list, okay, then that country will not receive the international funding. Okay, our investment will also slow down. Now under the diplomatic mission, we are going to show this to the world, not just our military strength, but also what way Pakistan is promoting the terrorism. So that we want to isolate the Pakistan. It is not just only using the military strength. It is about how you are using the diplomacy as well. Everything should happen. We should be able to isolate Pakistan. Okay, so not just military support. If they harm us, definitely we have that kind of military capacity, but also we need support of the global countries. That's what we are doing, right? So this is where it is happening. So that is one. Let me show you one thing. Okay, so this was the main heading today. Diplomatic outreach visit begins today. This is what. Now, in newspaper articles, there would be some questions where that directly that can be asked for the prelims or for the mains. Now, these are certain kind of news. Okay, you just need to be aware. Now, questions may not be asked from this thing. Okay, how many countries India is visiting? Who all participated? They will not ask such kind of questions. You just need to be aware what is happening. Even if you read the just newspaper heading, okay, this is how diplomatic missions that are conducting. So this will also, it will give you a kind of awareness how these kind of scenarios will be dealt. These things will be particularly helpful for you in the case studies. To use your intelligence, they will ask you in the case studies, what will you do in these such scenarios? You can't say, okay, single-handedly. Okay, so you have to use the things that are appearing in the newspaper to put a right and rational answer to them. Okay. So this thing, so nothing much from the exam point of view, just only for you to get awareness. Okay, so I have given what is this is about. For the exam point of view, don't need to remember the thing, just be aware. Okay, what is happening. Now, in the same way, another article has come up in relation to the India and Pakistan. That is where their military general was given a highest rank called Field Marshal rank. Basically, it's a kind of post which is a kind of highest post. Only till now, 2 people in India, in the Pakistan has been given this post. Okay, so basically, it's like this person has done some kind of very good achievement. Okay, so highest position is currently this thing. Okay, Army General. For the Navy, you will call it as Admiral, and for the Air Force, you will call it as Air Chief Marshal. Okay, so there is no such a position beyond that. Only for the few people, a kind of ceremonial position that this Field Marshal rank will be allotted. Okay, so in the India, we have given it to the 2 people. You just need to be aware. Okay, so this is what it is happening. Okay, so just you need to be aware that what is this Field Marshal, and if they may go very factual, they may ask, but generally these kind of questions they will ask in the SSC or bank exams. Okay, what is the highest position in the Army, Navy, Air Force? Okay, what is the which one is the highest, like arranged from ascending to descending order? So these kind of 2 factual questions usually in the state exams, prelims exams or SSC bank exams they will ask. But UPSC, I don't find that much of relevance. But for you, it is just have some kind of awareness. The top 3-4 positions, what is done in the Army, Navy and the Air Force, just for your kind of general awareness. So are we clear? So have you understood the story, what has happened with the India and Pakistan so far? So we will be understanding many concepts of the current affairs in the form of the stories. Okay, as we go on, I will develop so many stories. Now, why Turkey, is supporting the Pakistan? Why USA is supporting the Turkey? Why the defense deal has happened between the USA and Turkey? Okay, so who are these Kurds, Kurdistan? What is the issue happening? And why, you might have seen in the news, okay, Israel is bombing Yemen, okay, and they are also bombing Hezbollah. Okay, so why are they attacking Hezbollah or Hamas? Okay, so we will see Houthis. Who are these guys, Houthis, and why are they attacking the Israel first? Okay, what is the issue of the Palestine? Okay, all these things first we will understand the story manner in a very simplified manner. What is relevant for our exam point of view? Okay, so understand these things in a proper manner. Things will become very easy. After that, you just when we know the concepts clear, that for you remembering facts will not be that difficult. You don't have to mug up or by heart the current affairs. No, you should be able to generate the points. Every day we will be taking up one mains answer writing question also. There I will be telling you how you will generate the answers from the current affairs. Okay, so as we proceed, you will learn many things. Now see, this was a news article. Okay, it was talking about the mass nesting of olive ridley turtle. Now, why are we concerned about the animals? World is going through various kinds of mass extinctions. Till now, 5 phases of mass extinctions has happened. Currently, 6th phase of the mass extinction is going on. In the 6th phase of the mass extinction, various large-sized animals, according to IUCN, okay, many large-sized animals which are counted. There are so many organisms which are cannot be counted, millions and millions. Whatever the large-sized organisms, IUCN is counting or tracking how many organisms and all. So within those organisms itself, majority of them are dying. So it is very important for us to take care of them. So accordingly, based on the severity of the crisis that is there, so IUCN will put certain animals in its red data book. Okay, and it will say these animals are already lost. Okay, certain animals are critically endangered. Certain animals are endangered. Certain animals are vulnerable. So if you don't take care or protect them, these animals will be gone. Now, why are we concerned? Let them go and die? No. But we are also a kind of animal living in harmony with the other organisms. If they die, eventually we will also die. You might have seen in the topic of ecosystem. All these are biotic and abiotic or having a complex web of interaction. All these organisms are interacting with one another. If any interaction is lost, this diversity is lost, eventually our survival capacity is also lost. So the more and greater the diversity, the more will be the beautiful place this earth to survive and stay. Okay, so that's our responsibility. So this sea turtles are vulnerable according to IUCN, and they come to Orissa coast for the nesting purposes, for the laying up of the eggs. Okay, and these are the vulnerable animals. Now that becomes very important for us. So we need to understand not just about the sea turtles. So they can ask, what are these turtles? Okay, so basically these are the Chelonian species. So you have the turtles, you have the tortoise, you have the terrapins. Okay, so I have given you, see here, difference. Okay, so turtles means basically omnivores, and terrapins are the freshwater turtles. Okay, and you also have the tortoise. Basically these are herbivores living on the land. Those which are living in the sea area, we will call them as a turtles. If they are living in the water, but it is a fresh water, then we call as a terrapins. So is this clear? What is terrapins? The same thing, same organisms. They look similar, okay, but there is a lot of difference. Okay, for us they might look similar. Some of them will live in the sea, and some of them will live in the fresh water. So when they live in the fresh water, we will call them as a terrapins. If it is in the sea, ocean, then we will call as a turtles. Okay, generally when they are living on the land, basically tortoise are the herbivores. Okay. So we need to be aware this small difference. What is this turtles? Because UPSC will test only fundamentals. Okay, they will not ask what is the article. Okay, where they are doing this thing and all. Okay, so they will ask the big picture. What is the scenario of this turtles? What is the scenario of this tortoise in India? So olive ridley turtle is one such turtle that lives in the brackish water. There can be many such turtles, and also there can be many tortoises. Okay, there can also be terrapins. So among them, what are the most important things? Recently also there was a news, okay, star tortoise, okay, that was being smuggled. Okay, they look very small, okay, for the decorative purposes, people are smuggling them. Anything, okay, just we will take them and we'll keep in the shelf. It looks beautiful. Okay, so that's why we have various things. Okay, now we have Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, so you have various organizations to check this kind of trafficking and all in the animals also, not only just in the humans. Okay, so these kind of trade related activities, all these things we check. Now coming back to this tortoise and turtles, see here. So 5 species of sea turtles are found in India along with this olive ridley turtle. So this is leatherback turtle. This is the largest sea turtle species. And then you have the hawksbill turtle. Then you have the loggerhead turtle. Then you have the green turtle. Then you have the olive ridley turtle. Among this, the hawksbill turtle is a critically endangered. Now you got the big picture. Okay, when you are talking about the olive ridley turtle, so you should be able to see where this thing fits. The big picture, what I need to know. When I need to study some kind of current affairs, let me show you. So when now I am studying about the current affairs regarding the olive ridley turtle. So what is this species? Any similar species? I need to get this kind of boundary for the current affair. I cannot go and do the research and PhD. So I need to be aware. Now, how do I get the boundary? What are the limits up to which I have to study for the current affairs? One thing is based on the syllabus. Okay, so you have the syllabus where they are talking about the environment, where they are talking about the geography, but your syllabus is very broad. So the next information you get it from the PYQs, both from the prelims as well as the mains. So accordingly, I will plan my strategy. So how many types of the turtles are there? Okay, how many types of turtles are there? So why are we protecting them? What kind of threats are they facing? So you guys, can you tell me what kind of threats? Basically, the most important threat is habitat destruction. Everywhere it is happening. Okay, so like we have seen even in the urban area, habitats are getting destroyed, or any kind of pollution. Because of the pollution also, over exploitation. We go for the fishing, from there we will also get some kind of turtle. Okay, chalo, bring it also. Okay, so this way over exploitation of the organisms are happening. So like this, there are various threats. So what kind of measures are we taking? So these are the certain boundaries. Where do we find these organisms? What is the protection status of them? So these are the things we need to study from the environment perspective. So they will ask in the prelims, is this animal vulnerable? Are we doing this kind of protection scheme? Okay, so they will ask these kind of questions. In the mains, they will ask broadly. They will not ask, tell me about the olive ridley turtle. Okay, analyze the issues associated with the olive ridley. No, they will not ask that. You will use this olive ridley turtle case study while you are talking about the measures taken by the Indian government to protect the biodiversity. This can be an individual case study for the mains. For the prelims point of view, they can ask these kind of factual details. So are we clear? See, these are the 5 major turtles. See here. Now, what are the threats to the sea turtles? Over harvesting in the illegal trade, habitat loss, climate change. Everywhere climate change, just like a corruption, you can add climate change everywhere. Climate change is causing destruction everywhere, just like a corruption is as a general normal point. Okay, everywhere. By the time you go to the mains, okay, you will be having some bunch of points where they are common everywhere. Policy issues, okay, all those things, certain things. Okay, by the time you go there, you will be anyway having easily some points with you ready-made where you can use generally anywhere. Okay, by a little bit twisting and molding. But some specific points for you are very important. If you read and prepare very well, you will be in a position to generate easily 5 to 7 points to any question without any difficulty. But if you study specifically and prepare well, you will be able to generate the specific points, and that can make a difference. Okay. So for that, we are taking the sea turtle project. Okay. To protect the sea turtles. Okay. Basically, it is being taken along with Government of India with the support of the UNDP, International Organization, to protect this sea turtles, and also our Coast Guard. Majority of this nesting happens in the Orissa. The famous area is called in the Gahirmata beach. Okay, so there this nesting happens, and there, in order to protect this nesting sites, the Operation Oliva is being conducted by the Orissa coast, the Indian Coastal Guard. Okay, on the Orissa coast, and also you have this Wildlife Protection Act, Sites Act. Okay, so these are the various things out there. Okay, now let me show you in this article what they are talking about. So they are talking about the same thing. Okay, they are saying that these turtles will be coming, visiting this sites. Okay, but even though we are taking the protection measures, somehow they are still struggling because they go and lay eggs there. Okay, in the same area, they are repeatedly laying the eggs. Okay, somehow the small turtles, they are getting exposed whenever they will disturb the sand and all to lay the eggs. That is getting disturbed, and the predators, okay, whatever the prey, okay, whoever the animals that rely on this thing, they are getting exposed to those things. And also, this is also one of the very good tourist spot. We go there and we'll say, wow, really. And it is being said that they are getting nervous. Okay, so we are not aware what kind of impacts that can happen on this organism. So you can also know, you can connect when later on in the topic of the ecotourism or in the impacts of the tourism. So this is how we will take up the point from here, and somewhere we will link it to there. Okay, so we should be able to generate this. I have generated a question or a thought in you. Okay, this way we can use this point at different place. Later on, like this, you will generate a bunch of points as we proceed, as we go forward. Okay. So this is the article that it is talking about. Now, major topic that is happening, Waqf. Okay, Waqf issue is happening, right? So you might have seen so much of the news. Now, once we do this thing, once we do the analysis, now we are going and doing in detail analysis of this Waqf issue. So once you do this thing, you don't have to go through each and every article that are happening in the news. You can, once for and all, you can keep those articles aside. If anything new comes up, I will be discussing there. So what is this Waqf property? What is this concept of the Waqf? Okay, Waqf by user, which is in the news. What is the changes that have been done? So we will discuss this thing. What are the positives and negatives? Well, let's understand this way. So Waqf, when I say Waqf, what is this concept Waqf? Okay, it refers to the properties dedicated for the religious or charitable purposes under Islamic law. Okay, and it should be used only for that purposes. Now I have some kind of property or cash, whatever it is. Okay, movable or immovable property. Okay, I have given it to given it for the development of any kind of religious purpose or any kind of charitable thing. Once I have given, okay, that becomes a Waqf property. Okay, it is basically talking about the property. So this is the point. Okay, it is actually a very good thing. So I am donating it to some person. So once it is being donated, the particular, okay, the religious head, basically the local level religious head is called as a mutawalli. The mutawalli will take care of the Waqf property. Okay, this was a scenario, and this was a very old thing. It was happening during the time of the Delhi Sultanate's time period. British, they have not given it much care. Okay, but post independence, okay, Indian government through law, they have allowed this Waqf properties and all through the law. Okay, so as per this, so basically now I have donated certain property. Now this will consider as a kind of Waqf. Now this can be used for the development of the entire Muslim community. It can be anything. I might be developing a mosque there. I might be developing some kind of activities which can benefit the Muslim community. But what has happened is eventually various issues has come up. Such a committee was established, okay, in the around 2006 or some time period. This committee said, see, this Waqf is holding 1 lakh crore worth assets. But the amount of revenue it is generating is somewhere around 160 crores. There is 1 lakh crore and 160 crore. So is this not highlighting a kind of mismanagement? This is one issue. Mismanagement is happening. 1 lakh crore. If you can utilize them properly, it can be used a lot for the welfare of the community. So there is no such thing. So government thought, that might be true. Yes. So they do not know what is happening to these donations, whatever the land or anything that has been donated, if there is properly disclosed. Now this person has certain property, this person has certain property, I have certain property. Okay, so everything is disclosed. How the transactions is happening, what kind of revenue person is generating. So if this is disclosed, okay, then there can be better tracking, better monitoring, better transparency. For this to happen, there has to be basically Waqf boards will be there, the state level and the central level. So we have seen Waqf property. Then for its maintenance, there has to be at the state level, Waqf board is there. And also at the central level, Waqf council is there. At the local level, basically Mutawalli has to take care. But there is some mismanagement is happening as told by the Sachar committee. So now what they are doing is, so we will get into this thing. We will reform the state Waqf board. We will digitalize the everything process, whole process we will be digitalizing the things. And we will also monitoring how the Mutawalli is operating. And then the state Waqf board, whatever it is there, okay, this composition will also be changed. In order to bring some kind of better performance, why to restrict its membership to only Muslim members? Let's bring some non-Muslim members as well. This is what the changes have been introduced by the government. Now, Apart from this is about the management. No, not only this thing, apart from the management, there are certain controversial provisions in this. Let's get into this. Waqf by user. What does it mean? It means, for suppose, if I have any kind of property, how do I know? Okay, how the government knows that I have this property? It is based on the written documents. Okay, if I say this home or this institution belongs to some X person, whatever it is, there is a written documents. But Waqf by user means if there is a particular area which is being used for by Muslim minority community for those purposes. Okay, that land or property that is considered Waqf due to its long-term use for the religious purposes. That means that is being used for the long time. So based on that criteria, based on the usage, I can say this property belongs to Waqf. Now this becomes controversial. Okay, so based on this thing, there are many lands that are claimed according to the government, claimed as a Waqf properties. In this way, they have gotten in dispute with the government and also various other things. They have also gotten in disputes with the Archaeological Survey of India. They have also gotten in disputes with other communities. Okay, so they are saying this land is mine, they are saying this land is mine, and all this is happening. Okay, so now what the government says is, government is denotifying this thing. Initially, they have denotified everything, Waqf by user, everything. Any land that was called as a Waqf by user, okay, without any document proofs, it will be not considered as Waqf anymore. But later on, they have changed it. Only those lands which are in controversy, those lands will be denotified. This is the first thing that you need to know. And they have also said, if there is any dispute with the government, district collector or the position above the district collector, okay, they will do the survey. First, they will do the survey and they will resolve the disputes. Till then, that property belongs to the government. Now, the opposition or whoever the critics, they are saying, how can the government person can resolve the dispute? There should be independent person. Okay, how can be the person that belongs to the government take a call to resolve the disputes? This is the main issue that was being raised by the critics. Now, they also say, currently, okay, for suppose, I have donated my land to Waqf. Now, for some reason, I want to take it back. As per this Waqf law, I cannot take it back. Once I have given it, that's it. Final. Okay, I cannot take it back. That is also being contested. If I get any kind of issue in terms of this kind of property deal, there will be a tribunal. Once the tribunal gives the judgment, the decision is final. You cannot challenge it in the High Court. Now the government also want to make changes in this. So now the tribunal composition has been reformed. Previously, the tribunal used to be having the member of especially from the religious head, Muslim members and all. Okay, they have changed some kind of tribunal structure also. Now appeals can also be made. Okay, so in this way, all these changes have been made. Let's go one by one. Now see here. So why they have made a kind of changes? So the objective of the Waqf Amendment Bill is to amend this Waqf Act and to bring reforms in the Waqf Board and to manage the properties in a proper manner. This is the objective, to streamline this thing. So key changes here, they have a clarified definitions. Okay, registration should be there properly, use of technology, and they have changed the composition of the Central Waqf Council, State Waqf Boards. Okay, they have said compulsory there should be women representation, and also within the Muslims there are various communities. So every community, like say Bora community, were also given the representation in this thing. Okay, now Waqf tribunal structure was changed, and you can still once the judgment is given by the tribunal, you can also go to the High Court. Like this, they have made various changes. Okay, so they have also changed the principle. Once a Waqf, always Waqf. Okay, that means I have given property to the Waqf. Now I cannot reclaim. Okay, so that has been taken away. Now it cannot be used, that clause. Another thing, if say I am a person, I have I have not followed any kind of inheritance. Okay, let's say I have a daughter, but without giving the property rights to the daughter, I have given my property to the any work purposes. Okay, now it will not be allowed. Okay, so I should properly share the property. The women inheritance rights will also be properly has to be taken care. These were the changes introduced. Only then I can donate the property. And previously any person can donate the property. Now, in order to donate the property, the person should be practicing Muslim for at least 5 years. Now they are saying, why this clause? Anyone can donate. Okay, so they are saying this is for the religious purposes. Okay, we have also separated the trust. They can donate it to the trust. If they have to do welfare activities, donate it for the trust. They have separated. Trust is different. Trust means, see, now I am doing some kind of charity. I want to build school, college. Okay, that is a kind of trust. Okay, I can develop the trust and I can develop some kind of charitable activities. They have separated those things. Okay, now they have separated the work. You can do this here. This is what the government argument is. Okay, so these changes. Okay, so these were the previous issues. There was lack of judicial oversight and lack of proper survey, lack of transparency was not there. So all these things have been changed. Key reforms. Okay, now separation of the trust from the work. Technology uses. Okay, now they have said, okay, only practicing Muslims has to donate the property. And then waqf by user. This is what we have discussed. Now it is no more valid. Okay, so women's right is being taken care. Transparency. If there is a kind of dispute of the property between the government and the waqf, property will be given to the government till then. And then who will be resolving? Okay, the person, okay, the rank of, above the rank of the collector. Previously it was collector. Now it has changed. An officer above the rank of the collector will investigate and will give the final call. If you are not satisfied, you go to the tribunal. If you are still not satisfied, go to the higher courts. Okay, this is what changes has been made. Now, okay, so there is one more thing, the Limitation Act. It is also in the news. The Limitation Act means, now for suppose, we both have a property disputes. Okay, so now he has certain property. If I have to claim a dispute against him and have to file some case in the court, I have to do within 12 years time span. I cannot raise all the old issues. It is time taking process, right? You cannot do those things. There should be some kind of closure. Okay, as per this Limitation Act, only 12 years limit is there. If I have to file any kind of case against him. Okay, I cannot take back, okay, 50 years back he took my land. No such thing. For the waqf, till now, there was no such kind of limitations. Okay, it was unlimited time period. Okay, so now it has been changed. The Limitation Act will be now applied. Okay, so there should be proper auditing also. Now all these things will be there. But critics say, okay, so why there is a inclusion of the non-Muslims? Now they also say there are various properties, okay, being claimed by the Archaeological Survey of India. Okay, like say Gyan-Bopsi mask issue is going. Now, based on these kind of disputes, many issues might come up between the, again, temple versus mosques and all. So these kind of concerns are being raised. And also as per the Article 25 and Article 26, government should not interfere into the religious matters. Okay, so they are saying these are the violation of those things. Let's see what court says. These are the things that are going on in the court. Okay, petition PL has been filed in the court and court is looking into this thing. So maybe once the final judgment comes, then we'll see. So is this clear? So everything related to these things, many articles might have come up. Now I have totally gathered or brought all those things at one place. Okay, you don't have to file any kind of concern. So are we clear? Okay. Okay, so you also have this thing. Okay, two scientists have been recently, two Indian scientists have been died. So because of this, their contributions, what kind of contributions they have done. Okay, it is in the news. Okay, you might be knowing Big Bang theory. Because of this theory, only evolution of the universe has come into the picture. Okay, initially you will study in the geography NCERT also. Initially, everything, all the particles, whatever you see in the universe, everything was under this in a small tiny particle, which you call as a singularity, which is having infinite density and everything. This is according to the Big Bang theory. Blast has happened. Everything, such a huge blast. And then universe has been evolved, expanded. In detail, you will study in the geography. Okay, this was the theory. And this is the most accepted theory, well proved theory. Because two major evidences, which was also asked by the UPSC. One thing is the cosmic microwave background. Whenever any kind of blast happens, radiations will be released. Such radiations are always there in the atmosphere during the time of the whatever the radiation that were released during that big bang explosion. We studied this cosmic microwave background and we have got the evidences. Okay, according to the Big Bang, this might have happened. Then we have also seen redshift phenomena. Okay, so for suppose if a light is coming from here to me, okay, this is light also kind of electromagnetic wave. Now from that camera to it is coming towards me. There is certain kind of wavelength and frequency. Now if I have moved little bit more distance, the wavelength is changed. What previously the light it is coming and hitting me here. Now I have moved little back. Now it has changed its length. Because of the change in length, wavelength has changed. Previously it was like this. Now it has to travel a little bit far. So whenever there is a change in wavelength, we are tracking this frequency, wavelength and all. So there will be a change in the color. Red color will be visible. Okay, whenever the distance is increased. As per the Big Bang theory, can you see here? Boom, explosion. Okay, everything is expanding is happening. So whenever the light is coming from this part to this part, you will see continuously because of the expansion, a redshift phenomena is happening. Okay, so this is what is being explained by the Big Bang theory. But however, the scientist who has recently been passed out. Okay, so they have given the steady state concept. According to this thing, there was no such Big Bang explosion. Though that is the most accepted thing, they will say the universe is there even before. Okay, it is always infinite. No such explosion has happened. According to the Big Bang theory, 13.5 billion years ago, explosion has happened. But according to this theory, no such explosion has happened. Okay, it is there. Okay, so you can go through. I have given that thing. And another scientist, Srinivasan. Okay, he was also responsible for establishing first atomic power station. Okay, which was happened at Tarapur, and also nuclear research reactor at the Apsara. Okay, some factual information that you can go through. Okay, so remaining we will see again tomorrow. Okay, I think we have covered all the things, other factual things. Just you can go through. And for the tomorrow, I am giving you one practice question. Tomorrow we will discuss this question. Discuss fire safety regulations in India and challenges. Okay, because recently you might have seen the Charminar incident has happened, fire accident has happened. Now we have a disaster management topic where they can ask us regarding this fire safety regulation, what kind of problems and issues associated with it. So there was an editorial which was talking about, okay, what kind of safety we require for the fire accidents. Okay, I have given that points here, and also the safety or guidelines given by the NDMA I have given, do's and don'ts. But this is not the content. The question is asking different thing. Okay, so that is just I have taken up from the article. So tomorrow we will be discussing this question. Where is it? Discuss fire safety regulations in India and challenges associated with it. Before coming to tomorrow's class, once try. So what you will write in the introduction, how you will generate the points in the body, what can be the conclusion. You can just give it a try. We will discuss anyway tomorrow. Okay. So that's all for today. I hope things are clear. Okay. Sure. Thank you.